Thank you for joining me again. My name is David Mulligan on the Writers Bloc Virtual Channel Network. We're going to continue to take a look at David Sedler's The King's Speech. Okay, if you look at 6, down at the bottom of 6, you'll see another brackets, and this time he puts note with colon. When he speaks with his wife, there's hardly any hesitation, which is great because it allows the relationship with his wife, which is a very good relationship. Those scenes aren't hampered by his stammer. Obviously he has a stammer, so we want scenes where he is, but in this case with his wife, it's not, and it's probably real too. I do believe that David Sedler had himself dealt with a stammer, but not sure on that. But I think he has some personal experience with it, which, as a screenwriter, if there is something that you have personal experience with, those are the kinds of scripts you want to write. Those are the kinds of stories you want to tell, because you can really get into the mind of the person who's afflicted or who's experienced, who has gone to that place or done that job, so on and so forth. So that's good. I like what he does with these brackets. Down at the bottom of the page of 6, you'll see cut to. Let's talk about cut to. And I think I've talked about it before, but I think it's important here for a couple of reasons. Generally, spec writers, you're writing a spec script, and you're just taking it out there. You created something on paper, and you want to take it out there, and you want to put it in the best possible form for absorption, for a reader or a producer or an actor to read it and say, wow, what a great story, told very concisely, very interestingly. And when you have things like cut to, are they necessary in telling the story? No, they're not. If you took them out, we'd still understand that obviously we're cutting to something else. But are there times when cut to works really well? And we're going to start looking at that now. So at the bottom of this page is a cut to, and if you go back, let's see if I can find, there are other scenes that change from one scene to the next, but don't have a cut to. So I don't know if the cut tos were put in there after, when they did production, or the computer program that he wrote on put them in or not put them in, but they're not necessarily consistent every single time we change scenes. But in this case, on the bottom of 6, Bertie says, I know, promise me, no more. And then cut to, and we cut to Harley Street, New Day. I kind of like it at the bottom of the page. It's kind of like when you get to the bottom of the page, it's like this. Okay, so you're writing a script, and you have screenwriting software. There's a number of them out there. And you can tell the computer program where to cut when it gets to the bottom of the page. You can make it never cut a sentence. So if there's a sentence that's too long, it'll push it down to the next page. It won't cut it in half. So if you say, for those, and then you got to go to the next page to finish the sentence, I hate that. But you can also do other things. You can cut dialogue. That more, you have that more at the bottom. That's the computer program doing it, okay? And cut to as well. And I kind of like cut to at the bottom of a page because it prepares me for a new scene as I'm turning the page. I wouldn't really know how to do that. You have to do that, I guess, manually. But there are other places he uses cut to, and he uses them in a way that I've never thought about before. It's consistent, too. And I like to think that maybe there'll be a place for me to use that, too, and possibly you. So keep that in mind, and we'll move on. Well, that's about it for today. Please join me next time for our Oscar-winning script, The King's Speech, written by David Sedler. I'm your host, David Mulligan, for the Writers Bloc on Virtual Channel.